Luigi Mangione, the suspected UnitedHealthcare CEO shooter, has had his first public court appearance. Hey there, I'm America's attorney. I'm a suspected straight shooter on all legal topics. So join me while I break down Luigi Mangione's plea hearing. Let's jump right in.
Charge you with the crime of murder in the first degree and other related charges. How do you plead this indictment, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty. People?
Your Honor, we have a copy of the indictment, notice of immigration consequences, as well as rap sheet. I believe the court has it. We give the court an extra copy and one to counsel.
I know it doesn't really matter, but the defendant and his attorney are kind of dressed alike right now. They got exposed light colored collars and red and maroon sweaters. And you might think, Josh, I don't care. And the reality is, neither do I. But this is peculiar. This guy has been charged with murder. He's in custody. He will be in custody until his trial. He's not going to bond out. He's not in an orange jumpsuit. That is so weird. Now, you know that when defendants have their trials, they dress in normal clothes. Well, they typically dress nice, but they don't dress like they are incarcerated even when they are. But when they have appearances in front of the judge, they normally dress incarcerated, like in an orange jumpsuit. But here, he's got street clothes on at just an appearance in front of the judge, not the jury. That is very favorable to him. Either he's getting some special treatment or his lawyer has gone out of her way to make sure that he's looking good.
Well, what is the situation with the federal authorities? They have a security order.
As we understand that we have primary jurisdiction, and we have been informed by the U.S. Attorney that they intend on allowing us to try our case first. So with respect to whatever goes on there, as the party with primary jurisdiction, the trial and the sentencing will take place here prior to anything that takes place in the federal system.
What you just said, the answer is it's fine if we take custody today.
That I'm not sure, because Your Honor signed a writ in which it says that we're going to return the defendant to federal custody. So I think that would be step two. I do think that logically, as the party with primary jurisdiction, the custody should be here. But I asked the court, in light of the court signing the writ indicating that we would return him to federal custody, that be done at a later time.
The prosecuting attorney is trying to thread a needle here by saying,
"Hey, Judge, in this very high-profile case, you did something kind of stupid, and you weren't paying attention, and I'm trying to point that out to you without being rude."
but if this court has primary jurisdiction, which it does because murder is like the most criminal thing that you can do, he should remain in the custody of the state of New York rather than the custody of the United States of America, whose charges are secondary or even tertiary to the killing or alleged killing of the CEO. The court issued a writ, which just is like this piece of paper that commands people who see it to do what it says, to put Mangione in the custody of the U.S. Attorney's Office. Well, actually, the United States of America, not the U.S. Attorney. The judge shouldn't have done that, and the attorney is trying to politely point out that no, he needs to be in our county lockup.
Well, I've been through this before, and if you do that, they will originally right at you. So I don't think I'm going to do that. But if you work it out with them, that we will take custody rather than us bringing them back when proceeding.
We will make every effort to accomplish that, Your Honor.
So the judge just said, yeah, not really my problem. I'm not going to try to solve that for you. You can take it up with the United States of America inside of his federal criminal case. I mean, I guess that's fine, whatever.
All right, so you ready?
Yes, Your Honor. We'd like to make a record, if that's okay with Your Honor. First, we'd request immediate expedited discovery in this case. The people have had this case for about almost 3 weeks, and that's more than enough time to gather as much information as they can give to us, especially now that we have two proceedings that we have to answer to, one of them being death eligible. So we are requesting that we get immediate discovery of the New York City Police Department and FBI and federal and state documents. And the second thing I want to make a record of, Your Honor, is I'm very concerned about my client's right to a fair trial in this case. He's being prejudiced by some statements that are being made by government officials. Like every other defendant, he is entitled to a presumption of innocence. But unfortunately, the way this has been handled so far, his rights are being violated. And as you know, Your Honor, there's a wealth of case law guaranteeing his right to a fair trial, but none of the safeguards have been put in place yet here. In fact, it's just the opposite of what's been happening
She just looked at us. She just looked at the camera.
here. In fact, it's just the opposite of
Oh, that's interesting. I thought this argument was for the judge, not for the public. We'll keep listening, see what she says.
He's a young man, and he is being treated like a human ping pong ball between two warring jurisdictions here. These federal and state prosecutors are coordinating with one another, but at the expense of him. They have conflicting theories in their indictments.
You know what? I wanted to keep listening, but I actually have to pause it right there. Here is my problem. He committed, arguably, he committed the crime of murder against the laws of the state of New York. The federal crimes that he has been charged with are not crimes on the books in New York. They are crimes on the books in the United States. These are not conflicting theories. A person can do something or a series of somethings, a series of acts that are crimes in different jurisdictions, different venues. It doesn't make it like in conflict that both venues, both jurisdictions are charging him with crimes. This has nothing to do with him getting a fair trial or not. But I guess, she's being paid a lot to say it, so let's hear her.
And they're literally treating him like he is like some sort of political fodder, like some sort of spectacle. He was on display for everyone to see in the biggest staged perp walk I've ever seen in my career. It was absolutely unnecessary. He's been cooperative with law enforcement. He had been in custody for over a week. He waived extradition. He was cooperative at all accounts. There was no reason for the NYPD and everybody to have these big assault rifles that, frankly, I had no idea it was in their arsenal. And to have all of these, the press there, the media there, it was like perfectly choreographed. And what was the New York City mayor doing at this press conference?
Probably something illegal based on his other court appearances. Nope, just kidding. I'm sure he's only been charged with crimes, not guilty of anything. But the idea that a criminal defendant gets perp walked and therefore can't be the recipient of a fair trial is preposterous. Because what if he was not cooperating with them? What if he was screaming like a crazy person? What if he did need armed guys around him? Does that mean then that he wouldn't be receiving a fair trial if it got the exact same coverage? No, of course not. Look, all this fair trial stuff is, lawyers love to argue about this. But when the jury is impaneled, the lawyers will question them about whether they saw that perp walk. And if they did, does that mean that he's guilty? And the reality is that every single person on the jury is going to say, no, I believe in innocent until proven guilty. I believe in the standard of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. And this is all just for show. She might actually have a chance of getting an acquittal for him because some people think that killing an insurance executive is somehow justified just because insurance companies are evil. Look, insurance companies are evil, but they are also necessary. And killing the CEO is not okay. That's not how you affect change in any country, but certainly not in the greatest country in the world. Come on, people. What you need to be doing is electing people who make laws that make sense. And we aren't doing that right now.
Your Honor, that just made it utterly political. And as Your Honor knows, under Lauro v. Charles, the Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit has held it to be clearly established that these staged perp walks to the media, unrelated to a legitimate law enforcement objective, is unconstitutional. And I submit there was zero law enforcement objective to do that sort of perp walk. There's
very narrow ruling there.
Need for that whatsoever. And frankly, Your Honor, the mayor should know more than anyone about the presumption of innocence that he too is afforded.
No way! I I was gonna be the only one burning the mayor, but she had to burn him too. My hat's off to you, young lady. That was awesome.
And he dealing with his own issues. And frankly, I submit that he was just trying to detract from those issues by making a spectacle of Mr. Mangione. And there are consequences to this. He has a right to a fair trial. And I just want to put on the record statements that the mayor made publicly about my client. Nothing saying alleged, for example. And he said, I wanted to send a strong message with the police commissioner that we're leading from the front. I'm not going to just allow him to come into our city. I wanted to look him in the eye and state, you carried out this terrorist act in my city, in the city of New York that I love. And he wanted to show symbolism. Your Honor, he's not a symbol. He's somebody who is afforded the right to a fair trial. He's innocent until proven guilty. And the mayor was talking to jurors, future potential jurors that elected him. Those are the people that elected him that he is talking to and calling this man a terrorist.
I totally agree with her. This is a PR stunt by the mayor. But let's talk a little bit about how the court system works. The mayor is the mayor of New York. New York is like, it's big, but it is just a city. It is a municipality. The mayor is the executive of that municipality. He has been charged by the state of New York. You know who's in charge of New York is the governor. The mayor does not report to the governor. It's a separate political subdivision. This judge is not in charge of how the mayor operates or what the mayor says. I mean, it's no different than if the mayor of Chicago held a press conference and said, Luigi Mangione is guilty. Guilty, guilty, guilty. I mean, he shouldn't do that because we believe in innocent until proven guilty, but it doesn't mean that he gets off from his charges until the judge orders the mayor to shut up. The mayor can't do anything that would invalidate the state's case because the mayor is not in that chain of command in any way, even though it is a move by the mayor.
So, Your Honor, I just want to make a record of this and put everyone on notice that this has to stop. And my client is entitled to a fair trial and the presumption of innocence. And we're going to fight these charges, whether it's in the state or federal, to the fullest extent. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, well, as you know, I have very little control of what happens outside of this court.
As I was saying,
But I can guarantee you, as I guarantee every defendant who comes through these doors, that the defendant will receive a fair trial. And we will carefully select the jury at that time comes.
that's what I was saying. See, the judge is saying, look, this is not the time to solve this issue. Obviously, the mayor should shut up, but I can't really tell him what to do right now. But we will make sure that when we seat a jury, that they will have all affirmed that they don't believe the mayor. They're going to give him a fair trial. And believe me, it will not be hard for them to make that happen.
But yes, you should expedite the discovery.
Your Honor, the discovery in this case is voluminous, to say the least. I have never seen a case with such volume of evidence, aside from the issue of the quality of the evidence. I suggest to counsel, because we have a discovery portal, but given how much evidence there is against this defendant, it would be smarter if counsel could provide us with a 2 terabyte external drive rather than rely on the crashing of the portal.
Okay, so what he's saying is when they have evidence that they believe is discoverable for the lawyer representing a defendant, they normally put it in basically a holding area. Then the lawyer has access through a portal to get it, much like how you see your medical records at your clinic or hospital or whatever. He's saying that there's so much evidence, and that doesn't mean damning evidence. It just means lots of video, lots of records, etc. They want her to bring a hard drive and they'll put everything on there. Of course, she's saying she wants the information now. That's fine. They're not going to fight her on that, although they might say, look, we don't have all the information that we will have. We reserve the right to keep on giving you information.
With respect to statement and identification notice, we will be giving that notice within the next 15 days. We're preparing an ADF. We'll do our best to expedite discovery, but I'll say that with redactions and with the volume of it, we're hoping to do it as best we can under, this is not a usual case in terms of the thousands of hours of video tracking and the like, and the fact that we're not only responsible for discovery in this county, but in Altoona, where the arrest was made and where several officers were involved. And we're in touch with those people, and we're going to get everything counsel's entitled to.
So then after all that, there was some scheduling stuff. He signed some papers. Wasn't super interesting. The main thing is that his lawyer is trying to say he's not going to get a fair trial. But dude, come on. He's a handsome white guy with a rich lawyer. He's going to get a fairer trial than most people in New York City. I guarantee you that. But those are my thoughts on it. I'd love to know what you thought of the hearing. Do you agree with defense attorney Karen Agnifilio's argument? Do me a favor, please drop your pro se opinion down below in the comments and let me know what you think. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and lawyer up with me. And I'll be back soon with more videos, and I'll see you then. Is he getting paid extra to say the word notices?
Counsel.
That was Mayor Adams, right? Yeah. Now, you know when people have when